Dear reader, allow me to introduce, though it might at first appear like many books you've come across, it is far from ordinary. You may, therefore, the story that awaits. In fact, it is in that without even. Chapter Normal isn't this nestled in far from the text. His name is Luca Van. Rollo, he possessed. Rollo. Wonderful. I have that chart. Keep hold of it. Its purpose. Rollo looked. Dear reader, forgive me for this interlude. Remember that charm you found in the dandelion patch? There are more of. They've been known to reveal some of them. Luca paused and he just. Gran had something. Luca tossed on his, even though it was the first. Gran's moving. Luca was. Gran's bed. Luca didn't. It meant that he. Since Gran had and more covered in flowery fabric. Gran had already. She kept a. Just some. An array of each labeled with a pair of dolls. The own. Oh my, this is quite exciting. I am. You'll recall. Excuse. You are. There's certain. Step 4. A sturdy. A beginner. The last. We were just gonna go chill for the day. The best. Easy. Impressive. That is a single. I think. The Chronicle is a record of the decisions you've made. You can see the turning at any time. Luckily for us, it's the We were just gonna go hide for the day. Young Luke, she always. Chapter welcome. For many, it wasn't over the next until in the 6-year. The boys, as long as they had an M. Uncertain, Rollo thinks that he all. Lucas went with the colt. After Luke, Rollo it was some. Luca looked up and Rollo nearly killed. While it didn't turn the... It did at least... Holden Wilder ran the local paper of the Beacon Bee. Oh, this is the first time where your charms will change the course. I'm current. Have no fear. Well, now I'm just... Where were we? Rollo froze as Roxy took a step toward him. Luca knew he had... In the past, he found the best way to deal with an enraged Roxy was to be a little chill. A bit more. A promise? The path led into a small hollow at... The fence thrummed with it. Luca often asked himself what role, so that he could... As sparks flew, 2 bulbs were... 1 more to go. The fence's buzzing gave way to silence. Every kid in town long abandoned. Now it stood on the dormant building showed there was only... Luca thought he pressed his... The sound of... The heavy steel door knocked Luca to the ground. Disoriented, it lunged. Luca watched. This is a story about change. It was far from the sort of change Luca imagined for him, but change is the end? There are many most will end. From here on out, now. This is a story about change. It was but change I probably there are many most will and we will find from here on out now. Let's In the past, he found the best way to deal with an enraged Roxy was to be a little shit. As the glowing windows the boy sat. Rollo felt he snapped off a tap. Rollo helped. Lucas sat in the dark. 1:15:35. Screw it, Luca. Nothing. No sign of time to halt. Luca clicked. He was up like a shot and running. Speaking pines, he wouldn't remember throwing his. Chapter 3. Finding. The next morning, only the sound of. Grand. She let out a. An eerie electron. A pit. Luca's mouth. Luca could feel his. The road leads a sort of. For a town. Kato volunteered at the library during. He wasn't very social, so he'd dedicate each, making him a reliable. If you were to ask Kato, he'd escape. Kato was Luca Crook. He gestured. The bottom corner shelf, only one cellular. Michael. The entire top level of most. Oh, a salad. Sally Luca breath 30 rest. A peek behind the curtain. The methods and rumination. One of the by. There were rare simply. family, giving her lip. She would tell Luca shift. Beck pulled a coin. Luca felt a chill as he approached Beck. Her eyes were locked on the string. The nearby grass was coated in a fine... Luca watched. Beck's eyes widened as flowers grew. First small... As quick... Beck dropped the... Iggy took a step. Beck could see tears welling in Luke. Some things about... But a bully... Beck took a deep breath. Well, time to bust out the tickles. Tears be... Beck redoubled her. Iggy's eyes darted around. Iggy... Beck shook the ooze out of... Chapter 4. The best. Luca paused. He'd only just met Beck. Hopefully he could... Roxy, it was clear. Roxy's temper could often be dismissed as the impatience of an older, but this was the most intense Luca had ever seen her. Her eyes were in a torrent. Roxy, with a Roxy. Roxy. Luca wiped his... Looking into the pup. Mr. Nuncreed jumped with a... Luca motioned. Mr. Nuncreed. Luca peered. There was a... It was... If Mr. Nuncreed was that worried... Mr. Nuncreed. Mr. Nuncreed. A deep. Luca attacked with the door. As Luca pounded the ends, Luca, as he he felt a cold. Too long. Luke, he knows. And wait, this isn't. Okay. I'm deep. If Mr. Nuncreep. Mr. Nuncreep. A deep. Luca with a firm. The door. As Luca pounded the inside of the. Luca winced, and as he braced for it, he felt a cold rush. Too large figure. Luca heard that he knows the end. Wait, this isn't the end. I know there's still much. Somehow this went wrong. Okay, let's try. Well, time to bust out the strange. Beck stayed the only. At the sight, Iggy smirked. Iggy's voice. The person at the was Rolla. Rollo, a wave of grin is going. If he chapped our Luca took. Luca was the house was. Luca was sitting by the pond, listening. His father without. Why don't you go? Sure thing. Luca hopped inside. We're fish. Luca's father. Well, Luca closed his holding it at interesting. With a practice, the water, the pond. Sometimes pallid. Luca scrambled. Dad, sorry. The relentless. Dad, his father. None of it's. Dad, Luca grabbed. Please. You. The ice. That's the thing. His chest. You toss a shock of the chair tip. Luca truck. You watch. Dad. The gentle rustle. Luca's eyes faintly. Lolo's voice, but the signal. Luca held his power. Lolo's voice began. With that, Luca grabbed. Luca heard a group of. He dashed. Mr. Tolliver. Mr. Tolliver. The three. He strained. Fear. Luca stared at the figure. Luca reached over. Iggy's tone jolted. Lucas. Iggy slipped. Luca grabbed Luca and Iggy caught the mission from behind. Curse. Lucas grit. Lucas, Iggy what? He swung the mission control. Lucas summoned. Kerr with a as the clip at the end. That's let's put it. This is a story about struggle. Luca could hear a machine. He felt his hands. He yanked it. Let Lucas. He heard with the muff. Luca was free. He never. Chapter 3. Everything's the next morning. Only the sound.
We all know Beacon Pines is a great town, What you may not know is great towns grow from mighty roots, and that is why you cannot tell the story of Beacon Pines without telling the story of one Sharper Valentine. Young Sharper's keen intellect and strong moral fiber led to a grand vision, a vision of a community dedicated to a better tomorrow. In his own words, a better tomorrow is within our grasp, but it requires a singular mind to harness it. Lucky for us, he decided to grow that vision here, in Beacon Pine. And how does one grow a better tomorrow? With fertilizer, of course. Valentine's Fertilizer Company became the lifeblood of a town yearning for purpose. But then tragedy struck, a scientific experiment gone wrong. An accident which took Sharper away from us far too soon. To this day, we struggle to pick up the pieces. But one foul harvest isn't enough to stop the people of Beacon Pines. The spirit of Sharper Valentine lives on. It lives in the hearts of everyone with a dream for a better tomorrow. Together, we will follow his example and grow a bountiful future. Paid for by the Valentine family and the Valentine Fertilizer Capital Reverence Fund.
Huddled at his counter, more accurate. With a yelp, Mr. Tolliver. He leaned. He leaned in a bit. Mr. Tolliver. He reached forward. He leaned in. She leaned. Luca shifted. Mrs. Fratelli looked. She carefully. Mr. Nuncreed. Nuncreed's. Beck, the look on. Beck gave. Chapter Dinner with the Mood. Ilona mood will, but there was almost done. Dinner went by without much converse as she watched Beck and Luca finish up their pizza. Ilona, the thing she could Nellie find, Beck was beginning to take root. Ilona's task, she could do that. Luca's eyes, Nellie was the one. Ilona, Luca wiped his. Beck gave Luca. Luca glanced over. Beck slipped perhaps harder than. Luca glanced. The sky was. Luca wiped. Surprised, Luca turned around, but Beck probably. Luca began to respond. Luca surveyed the roiling. At that, Luca bent, judging Beck. He flipped open the attached card. Luca flicked. Luca squint. Luca. Beck looked down. Beck took a moment to watch the rivulets. Luca took a deep. Luca. Her face Beck brushed off. As abrupt. Beck. Chapter 5. Friendly. The air was the smell. Despite it, he did not even. But it's not like this change. Adding Beck to the group would help balance things out. Everything's better in threes. This is what Luca told. Luca had only ever heard him speak in this, and it always meant one thing. Rollo scoffed. Luca stumbled. Luca both boys. Rollo's tone changed. The words hung in Rollo's stomach, but it was... Luca dug through his... Gran cooed gently from the... Luca just... He waited. Luca dozed off again. Luca still besides. The advent. Luca carefully opened the... Rollo had received a special... Rollo cherished it. Luca wasn't sure, or just whatever, but it had stayed right there where Rollo had stashed it. Now, he'd read it. He was well... Without real... He once again... Luca stood and he looked up at his father standing beside him. Walt was working. Dad, taking a he jangled and lifted the sword. Luca's in and across figures. Well, make yourself. Luca it. They're yellow. It's a cold. Luca peer it. Tiny Luca people. Luca leapt. We've the figure. Why wait? The figure. They own not Luca's voice. The figures with a jolt. A cloud. Luca's own older. The sensei as if he'd the doppelganger smile. I tried to. He gestured and all Lucas. Luca felt his father every this. Luca watched. Well, Luca watched in a flat. What? Luca felt it. Just remember. Luca woke. Luca the kind. Grand's. Luca. Luca took a deep breath. Chopped through thick and despite Luke, a big weather if one is not. Luca emerged from seclusion, but the effect he had. Roxy rolled. Luca looked. straight. Kato stared. Luca grabbed natural. Luca grabbed. Kato removed his book from the desk. As he slid the advent, Luca clicked his tongue with recognition. Kato began. He continued. Reaching the end of the book, before Luca shrugged. He reached in. He shook off the bit. Luca finished. Lumi. Rollo. Luca threw him. Rollo handed Luca, if I am on, but would have none of we both. I would God know everything. I hope love Gran. Luca folded the. Luca, but that was fine. Sadly, a distant. It was not. It was something as old and. A shockwave of cold before they could to boy, and so in a silent for the rest of time. The end. No, that can't be the ending. It simply can't. I won't. We are just going to have. Luca surveyed the roiling clouds. At that, Luca squinted. Beck looked down. Luca flicked it. Luca judging, but he flipped. Beck took a moment to watch the rivulets of water. Luca took a deep. Luca drew him. He squinted down the barrel. He looked. Luca and the branches after what felt that was all the boys. In fact, Chapter 5. Signs. The sky was like sapphire with each breath. Let's Luca pull. The boys. Luca with a resign. Luca win. Looking down. The crunching of footsteps. He looked. Luca peered upward at the darkening sky. He let out a long, faintly seeing. Luca allowed him. The boys huddled, if not for as it was. Iggy motioned. Iggy shrugged. Iggy no. He wiped his nose with a sleeve. Luca gave a. Iggy cleared his. Iggy arm. Lucas. That's all. Iggy snuck. The house smelled of warm Luca. He looked up to see his mother. A voice behind. Luca turned. The doppelganger. Aw. The figure picked up. It's amazing. Not that I blame you. Don't. Luca snapped. The doppelganger pointed to the cap. The last day we. The day he. Luca turned. That's not true. The doppelganger. Everything. Let me show the world. Luca was sitting. The doppelganger. He grabbed Luca. It was his. Do you remember? Luca. He could see. Damn it. What? She was scared. His father stepped. There's a sick. I won't. Luca's mom. Walt. What's right is. I could never. Eleanor raid. Spare. What about our son? Luca flinched. Walt. Luca. With Mom. Walt dropped nothing. Luca played. It's down. Walt just listen to me. I'll be back. Luca hug. Promise. Walt stood. With a wink. A figure up. It's slowly. From a deep. Whether it was Iggy felt. Luca looked. The figure. When it came to. Iggy huffed. Not to be. Iggy turned. Realizing he. Luca and. Nat took a deep. Nat exhaled slowly. For a brief. Luca and until the cold. Nat Nick. Luca began to. He looked his eyes with the sun. He sprinted as Iggy. Chapter 6. The Sword. Nat expressed his sympathy with a shrug and sauntered off as unassumingly as he'd arrived. He'd given Luca and Iggy. As Luca sprinted, Rollo said he was underground somewhere, captured. Mr. Kerr tried to cover it up with the clipboards were hell-bent on capturing it. It all seemed to point to Parent, but right now, Luca stopped dead in his tracks. The tree, he dropped to his numb hand. A dry whisper escaped Luca's lips. There was no Iggy finally. Suddenly. He bent down to. Luca stuttered. Iggy gave. Luca wiped. Iggy. Iggy. A disc of tooth. Iggy darted behind him. He emerged, holding a shoebox with. Luca rolled. Iggy stifled. Iggy triumphed. Luca and Arctic. Mr. Kerr scrapped. His face. Kerr snapped. Iggy turned to Luca. Iggy waved. Iggy plucked his. After a Mr. Kerr sighed with a nod. With a grab. Iggy tried to twist away. Luca dove forward, bracing Iggy's hand just before. His grip was. He could see. Mr. Kerr, with a wild. Luca's hand began to cramp. Luca. Every. Luca felt his. Calm. Iggy's voice. Luca had no choice but to accept Iggy's request. With a quiet blink, Luca watched a teardrop as his feet. The two silhouettes were. have some A fierce... With a chuckle, Nat turned dumbfounded. Every step to be continued. Beacon Pines. Revenge served second... Wait, that's... I was even No way. Let's go back and find... Luca had no choice but to refuse Iggy's request. He tightened his grip and reached for the walkie-talkie. A wild... That's a good lad. Nah, Iggy begged. It wasn't long before Mr. Kerr sighed with a clipboard did... I'll put in a swarm of... And... Luca began to respond, but the sky answered for him as the clouds above began to break, revealing Luca stopped.